those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look.
Our challenges are great, but our will is greater.
There is nothing wrong with America that cannot be cured by what is right with America.
The United States will not ignore your oppression or excuse your oppressors.
All are equal, all are free, and all deserve a chance to pursue their full measure of happiness.
This is CNN.
Some of the most powerful people in America are arriving on Capitol Hill right now to witness President Obama's second inauguration.
And we're taking you into the crowds behind the scenes for this celebration of America.
A new beginning for a president who broke barriers.
My fellow citizens, I stand here today humbled by the task before us.
A day-long celebration on a fitting holiday, honoring a man who helped make Barack Obama's election and re-election possible. Soon, the president renews his oath before cheering crowds. His critics are fierce, his choices are tough, and America's future is in his hands.
We must pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and begin again the work of remaking America.
Crowds are growing on the National Mall. The 44th President of the United States is about 2 hours away from taking the oath of office. We want to welcome our viewers in the United States and around the world. I'm Wolf Blitzer. Vice President Joe Biden also will be sworn in on this stage in the shadow of the Capitol. Stand by for Gloria Borger's exclusive interview with the Vice President. She asks about the times he's made the president angry. We'll also talk to former Secretary of State Colin Powell about his support for the president and his concerns about his own Republican Party. First, let's take you across the National Mall to my colleague, Anderson Cooper. Anderson?
Yeah, Wolf, thanks very much. Inaugurations are logistical nightmares, as you can imagine. All the crowd control and security to protect the people gathering out here on the mall. And, of course, the president and other high-level officials. Some VIPs are arriving at the Capitol building. Our chief political correspondent, Candy Crowley, is on the inaugural platform where the top officials will be sitting. Candy, what are you seeing?
Well, just recently, we're up here, by the way, all the talk about blue tickets and stuff. Platinum tickets, that's what these are. That's platinum with a P, kind of stands for power. I've seen John Mayer's here, Cyndi Lauper, they just walked in. So we're seeing some entertainers, but I have to tell you, largely behind me, these are friends and families of power. A lot of House Rules Committee folks here, people who know House Rules Committee staffers who get these great tickets. Of course, the folks that are a cheer down from me don't need tickets. It's people like the Supreme Court members, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, family members, Biden's and the Obamas, etc. But up here has been a collection, really, of people, and some of them are newbies. It's not that these are power players. These are friends of power players. And so one of the men that I talked to here today is a daughter who works on the Rules Committee, and he said, this was my first time I've ever done anything like this. It's completely overwhelming. And he said, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. He said, this is like a real moment, kind of an American moment. He looked up and said, I'm like right here by the Capitol, which is, half a football field away. The president may be, 100, 200, 300 feet from us when he gets sworn in. So a little different mood up here because of the kind of the closeness to all of this. I think it's awe-inspiring, sort of overwhelming, as this man said, but still lots of fun being had at the moment as they kind of await what's going to be a parade of the actual power players as they come in here and begin to get ready for this swearing in, this public swearing in, Anderson.
Also performances by Beyonce, Kelly Clarkson, James Taylor, all performing before the president gets sworn in, as well as the vice president. Our anchors, our correspondents are out in the crowds talking to people. We've been talking to them all morning. Christy Paul, Robin Meade, Don Lemon are spread out across the mall. Let's check in first with Don. Don, how's the mood there?
The mood is pretty cheery, pretty chipper. You brought the warmth all the way from the Cayman Islands. This is Marcy. Marcy came from the Cayman Islands. Thank you for the warmth.
It's my pleasure. I brought an extra 10 degrees for you today.
You said that this means President Barack Obama's presidency means a lot to people around the world, and that's why you came here.
Absolutely. I don't know if Americans who live at home realize the impact that this election and the previous one had on the rest of the world. People feel warmly towards Americans in ways that they haven't for many years because of some of the other things that happened before. But President Obama has just made us feel proud, and it's just a great honor to be here today.
Yeah, and you said you missed the first one,
and
there was no way you were going to miss it.
I know. I watched every minute of it on television, but I have another opportunity. Of course I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's
Right.
absolutely important.
Thank you, and we appreciate the warm weather. And where is Pat? Where are you?
Right here.
Pat, you what? How long did you ride on the bus here?
12 hours.
From?
Alabama.
Yeah, and your second time?
Second time.
And you wouldn't miss it?
For the world.
You think you have enough buttons?
Oh, I've got several more at home. I just couldn't bring them all. I love it. This is an opportunity that we never, ever really dreamed of. So it's a dream come true.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
And
thank
especially
you.
on Martin Luther King's birthday today.
Yeah.
We're living the dream.
Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Marcy. Thanks, everybody. We appreciate it. It's a pretty good mood out here, Wolf. You can see people are very happy to be here, and they're very happy that the weather is actually a lot warmer than forecasted, Wolf.
Let's hope it gets a little bit warmer. That would be good, Don. I know for you, for me, for a lot of people who have gathered here in Washington, D.C. Let's bring in our chief White House correspondent, Jessica Yellen. You've been doing some good reporting for us, Jessica. What else are you learning about the president, what he's planning on doing?
Hi, Wolf. Well, the president finalized his inaugural address over the weekend. He made some tweaks this morning, but he practiced in the map room over the weekend. That's on the first floor of the residence, and it's where he does all of his speech preps. He wrote it with his chief speechwriter, Jon Favreau, and circulated the speech among a small group of advisors who read all his important addresses. After the majority of the speech was finalized, he did continue to rework mostly for phrases and the pacing and timing of the speech. This is something he often does, I'm told, by his top advisors, that he hears rhythms and phrases in his head almost like a musician, and he'll continue to move a speech around just so he understands that pacing. Another advisor told me that they were just talking to him about how this event will be different from 4 years ago, because in 2009 he felt the weight especially of the economic crisis, and he realized that after the inauguration he'd have to go straight to the Oval Office and deal with the crisis that they were grappling with. And he didn't have much time to reflect on and savor this moment. And the president said that he is looking forward to today and to the fact that he'll really have a chance to take in this experience. Wolf.
Jessica, thanks very much. We're going to be checking back with you as well. Dana Bash is over in the rotunda inside the Capitol, getting some good access to folks who are arriving, including the spot where the president will be making his big entrance about an hour or so from now. Dana, what are you seeing? What are you hearing?
That's right, Wolf. This really is a great location because in the Capitol Rotunda, we will see the president minutes after the swearing-in ceremony happens. He's going to come through here, walk over towards the Senate side of the Capitol for a signing ceremony. What that effectively does, Wolf, is put himself and his cabinet on the payroll. But it really is an indication about how every single minute of this ceremony is choreographed for today's imagery and tomorrow's history.
This is where the president will start his walk towards history. Steps few take once, even fewer twice.
And so now we're in the crypt of the Capitol.
Right. The president will come down these stairs and emerge.
Senator Chuck Schumer chairs the inaugural committee and will personally escort the president down these stairs to take the oath. He took us first.
And I just want to be able to show our viewers what the president is going to see.
That's what he's going to see.
If we're right here, we're walking.
Right.
And Mark, if you can turn around, this is what he's going to see.
Exactly.
Right out these doors.
And then he will go out the doors, and there will be huge cheers, and there'll be people as far as the eye can see.
Inauguration prep began more than a year ago. Construction of the platform took 3.5 months to build. It's more than 10,000 square feet in size, using 22,000 sheets of plywood. It will hold some 1,600 people in stadium-style seating, so everyone here, from lawmakers to cabinet members to Supreme Court justices, have a view of the swearing in.
These are among the most coveted seats in America at any time, anywhere.
The only thing more exclusive, the post-inaugural lunch inside the Capitol's Statuary Hall.
So, Senator, this is where the actual lunch is going to be.
Yes, it is. The tickets for this are off the charts. You have senators calling and saying, "I want to go." And
so not every senator even gets
it's only 220. It's only 220 seats.
The president and vice president themselves only get to invite about 40 people. The other guests are leaders and select members of Congress, Supreme Court justices and their spouses, and some members of the military and diplomatic corps. No detail is too small, especially the menu. By tradition, the senator in Schumer's position chooses it, so it's New York-centric. Wine, cheese, honey, apples for pie, all from New York.
So that's great. Dessert. Here we are. Look, everybody. Can I have a taste?
Yep. There's your fork.
He even did a photo op for his food. But the entree is bison from South Dakota.
We won't sacrifice quality. I wanted to use Long Island duck for the main course, but it didn't come out too good.
The Senate's curator has attended 7 inaugural lunches and says Presidents Reagan, Bush 41, Clinton, and Bush 43 all sat and ate their meal. But President Obama?
Did he eat?
No, in fact, it was the first time that a president barely ate.
Ironic for a president criticized for not socializing enough, that's all he did, like a groom at his wedding.
He actually walked around and he visited every single person who was in that room. And I guess that was just his way of thanking them. Of course, he was so excited, I'm sure, being president.
I, Barack Hussein Obama, do solemnly swear.
The iconic image of becoming president is taking the oath. Diane Scavarla is in charge of the Bible. This year, it's 2. Lincoln's Bible, which Obama used 4 years ago, and Martin Luther King Jr.'s, since it's also the holiday honoring him.
Now, very unusual to have 2 Bibles, yes.
The Lincoln Bible is borrowed from where it's housed at the Library of Congress. The MLK Bible, couriered from Atlanta.
We will take possession of it. We will keep it in our vault, basically in our museum room here at the Capitol. We will bring it out. We will handle it with gloves.
It's a lot of pressure.
So yes, but it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Now, as far as those Bibles go, the Lincoln Bible is, of course, the same one the president used the last time around. It was the same Bible that President Lincoln used in 1861 for his first inauguration. That is here. It got here from the Library of Congress on Friday. The MLK Bible, that is new. He has never done that before. He is doing it because, for lots of reasons, but there's a special reason. Today is Martin Luther King holiday. That was actually couriered from the airport here on Saturday, and all of those, both of those, I should say, they're in a special vault upstairs on the 4th floor, and they're going to be brought down to the First Lady, who's going to be in a hold in the Senate dining room with the president, and she's going to bring them both out for the swearing-in ceremony. Anderson.
Dana, thanks very much. This is a president who has been criticized for his relations with Capitol Hill and how he deals with members of the Congress. Jessica Yellen, in this next term, do you see that changing? Do you see his strategy towards Congress changing?
Yes, I think he'll be more combative. I think that he has learned that he can't get as much done as he thought he could the first time, and he'll be more political in his approach. In other words, these are my bright lines. You guys come to me more.
David Moranis, Washington Post, you wrote the book, Barack Obama, the story. What do you make of the criticism of this president by some on Capitol Hill that he's not a backslapper, he's not a socializer? We saw him walking around the tables there 4 years ago, but there's been criticism that he hasn't reached out enough.
Well, he's, you compare him to Bill Clinton or Lyndon Johnson, and that's true.
But anybody compared to Bill Clinton or Lyndon Johnson is not much of a backslapper.
He's not going to change really in that sense. He is who he is. He doesn't want to appear to be inauthentic about it. And one of the things about Bill Clinton was that he was what I call an authentic phony. In other words, everybody believed what he was saying at the moment. And Barack Obama's always had a more difficult time trying to act that out. But as he said the other day, he thinks he's a nice enough guy. which sort of echoed what he'd said about Hillary.
Clinton,
Yeah,
right.
you know, she's nice enough too. So, but
that line didn't go over so well the first time. I'm not sure he should be
well,
repeating
he's talking
it.
about himself. It was a
Yes,
little
okay.
easier, maybe.
Maybe. But does he enjoy politics?
Yes. Well, he enjoys politics, but he enjoys other things as well. So, you know, I think that he's learning how to really sort of merge that with the other aspects of what he enjoys, which is policy and the rest of life.
Anderson, can I say 2 words? Joe Biden. That's what Joe Biden is for.
Right.
He does the things the president really dislikes doing. I mean, if the president doesn't like to glad hand and he doesn't like